Primary swing thought? Lee Trevino is always someone in my mind that I'm like, if I could swing a golf club like one person in the history of this game, it's Lee Trevino. So I'm always thinking to get like an impact position like Lee Trevino. So that's kind of my main swing thought for the most part.
A lot has to do with tempo.
Just committing to the shot.
I'm a big feel guy.
Turn your body and club through together.
At 6'4", Tony Finau is arguably the PGA Tour's best athlete. At cruising speed, he keeps it up with the best. When he wants to, he can hit it farther than anyone. The swing's dynamic, it's powerful, it's repeatable, it's just downright athletic.
He's got such great torque through his body, twists, without really leaping off the ground like Justin Thomas.
If ever you see his workout routines, it just generates so much speed.
So much fun watching him hit the ball, especially with this club.
Finau can put a little jet fuel on this.
At address, Tony likes to sit a little bit more than most. You can see there how the rear end is well beyond the heels of the feet. Now, ordinarily, you'd see PGA Tour guys kind of line up more over the center of their body. Tony likes the sitting feeling because he likes to feel his hands a little lower, and that's to allow that club face to look a little more left. When those hands push up, he gets the face looking too far right, and he fights a little bit of a right shot or a ball that draws too much. So see, low hands have an influence on the shaft plane. Now, as he moves it away, again from the seated position, long arms, he's 6'4", the club hovers, then travels along the plane line, and when we get to left arm parallel, this is what Tony likes to do. He likes to try and stand the shaft up in the backswing. That allows him then to shallow that shaft into the downswing. So as we take him to the top, absence of excess wrist hinge, the arm swing up over the shoulder, a little shorter than most, and already there, you can see how that club is beginning to go in that sort of a direction as it shallows into transition. So now the low body unwinds, the knees lead, watch the shaft just flare and lay down as he changes direction. There's the lay down. Now he's down the chest. Now look at this. That standing up shaft now has that baby pointing right on the money. Legs are underneath him. He's still in his sit look. And that now is going to allow him to get his hands back in the channel where he began. Down to contact, watch the quiet feet, and watch his magic move. Very quiet in the feet, hands right back in the channel where he began. Right elbow underneath left elbow, that's going to work if you like to hit power fades, and he loves to. Look at those feet. A lot of folks will use the ground. Tony just plugs into the ground and slings that golf club around him freely into the follow-through every single time. He can smash a low tumbling fade with the very best of them.
Wow, this is beautiful. Smoked it.
Sounded so good.
Fabulous golf swing. We know how short it is, but you know, when you see it in slow motion, how great lines, textbook, great stuff, isn't it?
And Tony's ready to go, and his favorite club in hand.
Tony, 5th best on the tour in strokes gained, tee to green this season.
I'd like to see 4 people that drive it better than he does, really. It's hard to find.
Oh my goodness.
How about that tee shot?
Now taking a deep dive into this dynamic action of Tony Finau. And I want you to remember the term matchups, because all of us have a matchup in the swing, and all of these top flight golfers have matchups too. So diving into this, can you see how that club face there is just marginally open? You notice here how the glove hand is tending on the neutral side. Ordinarily in the modern day game, that glove hand will be turned way more over the club. Tony plays with a weaker club face that he strengthens through the ball, and that's the matchup. So at address, remember the low hands we talked about? He has that open club face that allows him to do what Tony does through contact. Ball position way forward, all of those situations coupled with the slight tilt in the spine and a little pressure through that trail leg will put him in the environment where he can really create an upward delivery through the ball for all the power he creates with the short swing. So now the club head's hovering, and we're going to take him back. That hovering club head facilitates a smooth full wind-up as he takes it away. Stopping him left arm parallel. You can see how the upper body has just drooped a little bit more, and he's a bit more on top of his legs. Left arm is way extended away from him, and the key movement here in the legs is how stable they are underneath him. Up and to the top, Finau will continue to wind that upper body, and everyone will say, well, he's got such a short backswing. I will contend that he's got a long backswing because look at how much that chest is wound up against the resistance of this lower body. A lot of torque there. Arms extended out to the side, and then just to highlight this, that glove hand, it's tendon cupped. In the modern day game, as you look at this club face over here, it's a whole lot more open than you will see a lot of guys on the PGA Tour. But remember the matchups? You're going to see how Tony will go from there to really powerful at contact. So as he transitions down, the legs bump, again, still right underneath him. Still really eye line right over the top of the body. This wrist we talked about there that was tendon cupped, well, it's working into bowed or extended, which is strengthening up the club face. Now here comes the magic move. See those knees underneath him? Well, the forward knee posts up, the right knee stabilizes. Look at all that stored up energy. This glove wrist here working more and more into bow or into strengthening extension. So all the way to contact. Watch the quiet feet. Watch the arms unwind. Now remember that glove hand at address. It was all the way on the side of the club. Look at how it's turned underneath. Look at that lead forearm there. That thing is rotating. Look at how he's de-lofting that open driver that he had at address. Now you couple that de-lofted driver with the upward delivery, and you have got the recipe for some bombs, even with a short swing. Look how quiet those feet are. Now the body just free-flowing through to the follow-through. And the one thing about Finau, whether it's hit or whether it's caressed, it's hit into balance. And that's something that Tony prides himself on, putting the exclamation point on this powerful statement he just made.
Finau has driven the ball beautifully today. He's hit 11 of 12 fairways.
I'm amazed every time I see how short that backswing is for a 6'5" guy and how powerful the strike is.
The position of the club may be short, but it's a full shoulder turn.
Tony swinging the big stick.
That's the driving that we're used to seeing from Tony Finau. Little baby fade out there.
He's done it at exactly what he wanted, the short grass.
If anyone could get there too, he might be the one.
Now here's Tony contrasting a short iron to the driver swing of earlier. Remember with the driver swing, the ball was way forward in the stance, creating that upswinging condition. Here with the short iron, the ball is backward of center. Here's the handle of the club still forward, and we still have that neutral grip. Now, as you watch Tony, he's not afraid to really narrow up the stance on the short shots. In fact, I would advocate that because watch how with Finau, and I'm going to draw him a little boundary here. The boundary is essentially just around the insteps of the feet. Watch how he's going to operate inside of the insteps of the feet. So as we start him away, narrow stance, handle forward, that sort of presets the move. Watch how the body is lowering. Look at how the pressure is moving down and forward. Look at how the upper body is really covering the golf ball. Still a wide arm swing, but look at the top of the swing as we get him to the top now, how he'll look like he's putting downward forward pressure all the way onto this leg. Still the big wide arm swing. But now with that forward pressure, he's just created the environment where he can just rotate essentially on that forward leg and de-loft that club and show a whole lot of ball flight control. So as he starts down, pressure's forward, not a big slide. Look how stable the body is. Look at that downloading in the shaft, but not giving up that strengthening, that extension of that lead wrist. Look how powerful the club face looks as he continues to go. Watch how the head remains beautifully stable eyes trained on the back of the ball, and there's the same impact condition. The handle rotated and turned with a glove hand to the ground. That forearm really strong. The trail arm right there by the body. Now watch that relationship there between the right side and the right hip. All Tony does from there is rotate the body, and watch how that elbow stays right with him as he carries himself through into a more abbreviated follow-through. One thing he does, where there's been a real uptick in the control with the irons, is hit into a lot of shorter follow-throughs. A number of the iron players on the tour who have the most success do not unwind with the short clubs, the scoring clubs. They swing into balance with that shorter arm swing in the follow-through.
For Tony Finau, this is go right at it.
No doubt. It's like throwing darts right now, guys.
It sure is.
It's unbelievable.
He comes down as if he's trying to hit a low draw. That's what his body's doing. And then hangs onto the club face and basically has a fade follow through.
I think that's the best one we've seen today.
There's 2 iron shots in a row that he's just flagged. Oh, man.
Oh, and got a really good chance here now. Of course, even a chance to tie the lead. This could make it interesting now all of a sudden.